All right, man. Market review, trade review. You know what to do. Tight shit. Yeah, GG, you're finished. No, bro. I've seen his resume. All right. Bum 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 bum. All right. So, first things first. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. Because today there were a lot of questions asked that were really valid. So, one thing that I've always told people is that I will never fade an SMT that forms off news or off market open. And today I faded that. Wait, am I tweaking? This was CPI, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, let me lock in. So we had. Am I drunk? Oh no, it's this. Okay. So we had this SMT form off news, right? But I faded it. Why did I fade it? Because daily profiles are king, bro. Daily profile. Why? What do you mean everyone's screen's not loading? You should be able to see it. I can see it. D-Town can see it. Alright, bet. But yeah, I faded it because daily profiles are king, bro. If I will always align myself with where the daily profile is, and if I don't get a trade that aligns with what I think the daily profile is, then I don't trade. That's really it. So that's why I faded the morning SMT. Because where did midnight open? Oh, not right there, but that's a London low. Midnight opened right here. From then, we only manipulated upwards. Swept this high, and at the start of the week, on the weekly outlook, I said, I want high of the week to be CPI, and I don't want it to be any higher than this 4-hour fair value gap. I said it before the week even started. So now we're here. It's CPI day, and so far we're only manipulating up from London Open. So that's just exactly what I want to see. So then from there, I just wanted to see bearish order flow begin. So it was nice to see this order block get disrespected to start, but it wasn't enough for me. That was not enough for me to take a trade. Mainly what I was looking for was OTE getting hornswoggled and this breaker right here not holding. So when we pushed below that, I started to feel pretty good. And then also I was watching this mainly as well. But realistically, like once this was gone, that's when I was like, yeah, we're gonna go short. But yeah, this is also a pretty good example of what I talked about in one of the recent lessons about balanced price action. So, where did I end up getting in? I ended up getting in on this fair value gap. I'm gonna get rid of this, but I ended up getting in on this 1 minute fair value gap. And I had stops above this 1 minute order block. So why can I feel safe with that entry? Because everything above that price point is balanced. This little 1 minute gap is there, but you also have to think about like what makes sense. It doesn't make sense that we're gonna violate the range, because as you guys know, if we push above the 0.79, the way that I view the market is that we violated the range. So we're not gonna violate this 1 minute order block. We're not gonna violate this fair value gap. We're not going to violate the actual range itself just to go fill that 1 little minute imbalance. It just doesn't make sense. And then outside of that, there's no major imbalances to the upside. Everything's already been tapped into or already completely filled. So that's why I can feel safe with this entry. I got in. I don't think I got in right on the gap. I think I got in somewhere halfway, but let's act like I did just for simplicity. And then I had first TP at midnight open, which was perfect because you can see, like, where did we bounce at? Right at midnight open. Where else did we bounce at? Is that Asia open? Yeah, we also bounced right at, or is that Asia open? What is that? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's Asia's range equilibrium. I don't know. But nonetheless, what's more important is midnight open. Why isn't it showing though? Oh, here it is. Midnight open. I had 5 contracts. I took 1 off here on this push down, just so I can like de-risk myself. Yeah, Yeah, because I was in here, and then once we got this dump that took this low, that's when I moved my stop above this 1 minute order block, and then I took one contract off. So then that way, the profit from that one contract would make it to where this stop loss would be break even on the day. So I was covered, and then I had 4 contracts left, so I took 2 off at midnight open, and then I planned to take 2 more off at data lows, or to take 1 off at data lows and then 1 off at London low. But I ended up getting break even stopped, unfortunately. But I ended up re-entering because we're just so obviously going to go short today. And then I took my next trade based on this 1 minute order block getting disrespected, which I viewed as a breaker, and then the formation of this 1 minute order block as well. So when that happened, actually, I'm not going to lie. Oh, no. Okay. I thought I was tweaking. As soon as this candle closed and turned this into a breaker, I got in, stops above the breaker. And then I was just looking to scalp. Like I was viewing it as like a re-entry for my runners that I had from the last trade. But realistically, I had 3 contracts on this trade. I should have done like 2 here and then 1 for previous day's low because I felt super confident in previous day's low. But, I mean, profit's profit nonetheless. Yeah, so I got in on that breaker formation. And then that dump, we formed the fair value gap. We had this 1 minute order block. Felt pretty confident that was going to hold. It did. And then boom. So that was it from me today. For the rest of the day, I'm not going to lie, we booked what I wanted so far for the day. So in my head, it would be pretty ideal. What I'd imagine happens is we get a pretty decent retrace somewhere like to this imbalance or something, and then the rest of the day is pretty choppy and we stay within this range. That's what I would imagine happens because I don't think there's anything to the downside that's like significant anymore. Maybe Monday's low, but I don't think we booked that today. That would be pretty aggressive, but we'll see. I definitely want a retrace first, even if we do, to some sort of imbalance up here. But that's it for me for like what I executed. But yeah, anyone in the Discord, if you want your trades reviewed, send your trades. Or if you have any questions, ask your questions too. Yeah, class is at 3. And the class from yesterday is posted now, by the way, if you haven't seen it. I enter the short, price above the, let's see, 5 minute inverse. So I limit ordered at EQ. No, I mean, it's a good trade idea, but you marked the range wrong. So, yeah. So you marked the range at, I mean, it's technically a range, but it's a range on the second chart. It's not a range on the chart that you're looking at. So you marked the range from here to here, but that's not a swing high. This would be your range because that's a swing high. That's just a bullish candle. That's not a high. It's a high on the second chart, like I said, but that's just a bullish candle. It's not a high. Like this candle didn't go above that candle, but this candle did. So it's a high. It's a high point, and there was a candle leading up to that high, and there's a candle falling from that high. This is your swing high. So that's the range that you should have been looking at. But the idea was still good regardless. You know that price was balanced above that point. You entered at equilibrium instead of shorting in a discount like an idiot, like most people do. And you got rewarded for it. So that's a good trade. And your stop loss was well placed too. Because, let me see. The reason why it's well placed is because of what we talked about. Oh, shoot, we haven't talked about that yet. But the reason why it's well placed, in my opinion, is because of order flow. So that high that you had your stop loss at is a high that already did what it needed to do. That high filled that imbalance, that 1 minute imbalance, and it taps into that 1 minute order block. So that order block's mitigated, that fair value gap is filled. That high point has done what it needs to do, so it should be a protected high. So having that as a stop loss was pretty decent. And then, yeah, I mean, outside of that, I'm assuming you had TP for data lows, so that was a good trade. Anybody else? All right. I'm assuming nobody else has trades for review. D-Town, I'm not gonna lie, you literally took the exact same trades as me, so you can send them if you want, but I'm just gonna it's gonna be the exact same stuff that I just said. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think anybody else has anything. Oh, all right. The first one? Yeah, we took the same trade, I'm pretty sure. Send it again. You got break-even stopped on this? You limit ordered the inverse, you're saying? You limit ordered the 5-minute inverse? Wait, am I drunk? You limit ordered the 1 minute. Oh, I see. So you got break-even stopped on this, you're saying? Well, it's because of midnight open. That where I took my take profit on that dip, that was midnight open. So that's really why. Yeah, because like that's what I always take profit at midnight open. Because if you think about it, daily profiles are based on the midnight open. Like that's what you can pretty much consider like equilibrium. So, I mean, if it's too low of an R for you, then that's fine. It was a good enough for me. It was at it was pushing like a 2R. So for me, I took off a third of my position, and I was fine with that. But yeah, I mean, midnight open is always something to pay attention to because, like I said, the daily profile is based on midnight open. You can kind of like consider equilibrium for the daily profile. So, and it typically gets a reaction off too. Like today, bro, you saw it right here. Got a reaction twice. So it's definitely something you should always be adjusting your trade based on for sure. And then another thing that I was going to say, I'm kind of blanking. Oh, you said you moved your stop loss to break even once it tapped. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's something that you should do. You should have your stop loss protected. If your break even can be a protected stop loss, then that's fine. But your stop loss should always be protected. So like in this scenario, when midnight open booked, we still had that 1 minute order block. So your stop pretty much should have stayed exactly where it was because that's the protected point of your trade. Being above that order block keeps you protected. Moving to break even, there was nothing protecting your stop loss. You just went just to do it, you know? So I would focus on keeping your stop loss at a point that's protected, not just moving it somewhere because you got a certain risk reward or a first TP or something. You know what I mean? Like today when I got first TP at midnight open, my stop loss was not at break even yet. It was still above the order block. Because you, like, for the same reason, like, you want to do that for the same reason that, like, what happened to you today. You got stopped at break even, and if you kept your stop loss above the protected point, you wouldn't have had to enter another trade. You thought everyone does that? Well, that's because TGR does it. It's not a bad thing to do, for sure. I just think, me personally, the way I trade, I think it makes way more sense to always keep your stop loss protected instead of, like, getting stopped at break even because you just wanted to go to break even. I think that makes less sense. But so you can trade however you want. That's just how I do it. Yep. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? If not, I'm gonna end the video. I'm assuming no. Yeah, I'll end the video. All right.